And you'll be hearing from HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant and Boxing After Dark expert Emmanuel Stewart moments from now. Meanwhile, you see the 9-year age advantage for Cintron. Both of them are exceptionally tall welterweights at 5 feet 11. A 1-inch arm length advantage for Cintron measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. He weighed in a half-pound under the limit tonight. Unofficially weighs 159. Teddy Reid weighed in right on the limit tonight. Unofficially has gone up to 160. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Kermit Cintron Teddy Reid fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case a cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, before we get it started, very quickly, a closer look at Teddy Reid with Larry Merchant.
Teddy Reid is a two-fisted big puncher who calls himself naturally Two-Gun. A few years ago, those guns had a deadly effect on an opponent who went into a coma and died more than 2 years later. But his real Jim War occurred last December when he was sparring with William Joppy, the middleweight. They wound up throwing dumbbells and chairs at each other, and he sued Joppy for hospital costs.
Across the ring in the colors of his native Puerto Rico, now living in central Pennsylvania, Kermit Cintron. Closer look with Larry Merchant.
Kermit Cintron was a college wrestler just 5 years ago. Thaddeus Stevenson Small College in Pennsylvania. He hadn't put on his gloves until then, and so he is a neophyter. Just 5 years with the gloves on, including amateurs, and one of a number of non-2000 Olympic year prospects you'll be hearing from soon.
Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Houston, Texas, Main Events presents HBO Boxing After Dark, an evening of professional boxing for your entertainment. All bouts sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. This first bout presented in association with Banner Promotions and sponsored by Miller Lite. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this contest will be Glenn Crocker, Jesse Reyes, and Gail Van Hoy. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Tim Adams. And now, 12 rounds of boxing on the line, the vacant WBO interim title, and the NABF Welterweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, white, and blue, the official weight 146 1/2 pounds. His professional record consists of 23 bouts, 23 victories, including 21 knockouts. From Reading, Pennsylvania, here is the undefeated killer, Kermit Cintron. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, officially weighing in at 147 pounds. He's wearing red, white, and blue, and his professional record, 22 victories, including 16 knockouts, with 5 defeats and 1 draw. From our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., here's the defending NABF welterweight champion, Two-Gun, Teddy Reid.
Bring him to the center. Okay, listen up. The rules were explained to both of you fighters in your dressing rooms, all right? Here are your instructions. Keep your punches up at all times. I want you to obey the commands that's going to be given to you at all times. In the case of a knockdown, the man who is standing, I'm going to put him in a neutral corner where I want him to be, and I expect for him to stay there until I tell him to come out. Good luck to both of you. Protect yourselves at all times. Let's go to work.
With his perfect record, Cintron is the equivalent at this point of his career as of a gorgeous hunk, and you wonder whether he has anything else going for him, whether Teddy Reid can expose anything in him.
And it's fitting that we call the fight in company with Emmanuel Stewart, who was the trainer for the great Tommy Hearns, and Cintron, because of his big body and big right hand, has elicited some comparisons to Hearns, although to be totally honest, Manny, he's not quite as tall as Tommy and maybe just a little bit broader shouldered.
Yeah, but also Thomas Hearns was a tall fighter who fought tall. Some guys were tall, but they don't utilize their height as much. Like Vitaly Klitschko, he utilizes his height. He is a tall fighter. I was noticing before the fight, both corners seemed to have been extremely and exceptionally tense. Very, very serious, because I think both guys realize that not only is it a big fight for them, it's a dangerous fight, because either one of these guys can knock the other out with one single blow.
Bingo. This fight can change at any moment on the basis of any one punch, because both guys throw with power with both hands. Cintron trying for a big right hand over the top. Reid has been content to work behind his jab in the early going.
Reid seemed to have been a little bit more comfortable and confident with himself in yesterday's interview. Seemingly much more comfortable with the whole situation tonight also.
Well, truly, this is the biggest fight of Cintron's early career, and frankly, these are the highest pressure circumstances under which he's found himself fighting.
You know, Cintron was born in Puerto Rico, and then he's is coming from Reid in Pennsylvania, but looking deeper, you see that he spent a lot in Philadelphia, boxing in the rough gyms in Philadelphia. So this is a case of a Philadelphia-type rough gym fighter boxing with a guy that's from Washington, D.C., which is another area that has a lot of rough gym fighting. So these guys are going to end up banging pretty heavy. I can tell you that pretty soon.
Well, what you're talking about, Cintron spent 16 rounds in there sparring with world middleweight champion Bernard Hopkins. You're bound to learn a lot from that.
Yep, and I think he's got a lot more confidence from that, too.
Hopkins gave him the seal of approval, said this guy's the real thing. Right hand for Cintron, first time that he has executed a 1-2. Cintron seems to get progressively more comfortable with each passing second.
And both guys are getting into a jabbing contest now.
Good counter left hand up top by Cintron. Reid takes a moment to shake it off. Good uppercut by Reid. Left hook by Cintron came back. Reid fires a right hand straight down the middle. They're making solid contact with 30 seconds to go in round one. And Cintron goes to the canvas after Reid bangs him in the liver with a body blow.
Well, Reid made it very clear that he doesn't feel that boxing is necessary. He feels that he can knock out anyone that he hits, and that's what he's going to go for. I think the jab is going to be a thing in the past pretty soon.
Body shots by Cintron open up Reid for the uppercut. Cintron just a tiny bit short with that right hand shot. Triple left hook upstairs by Reid. Cintron coming back to the body.
I counted 6 clean body shots by Cintron in that round.
We remind you to log on to hbo.com/boxing, where our live viewers are invited tonight to submit a question relating to the telecast. You can submit that question to either Lampley, Merchant, or Stewart. We'll do our best to answer your question on the air before the conclusion of tonight's main event.
Breathe deep. Water. Tell you, don't stand in front of him. You gotta step around. Watch out for the uppercut. All right, your hand was there before, but you can return the hook with that uppercut, okay, baby? Look, don't forget about letting that right hand go.
Too, okay? Because he's doing this. Yeah. All right. As soon as he does that, get on him. Don't give him time to break. You need that shotgun jab, right? Shotgun and right hand right down the middle.
Let him go.
Deep breath. Stay there. Stay there. Relax.
Emmanuel Kermit Cintron played several sports in high school, as Larry mentioned, was best as a wrestler, didn't strap on boxing gloves until February of 1999. Very late. Can he catch up?
I think so. A lot of guys have just a lot of natural athletic talent, and especially the fact that they've been in competitive sports means they've been used to being before big crowds anyway, so I think they can catch up.
Apparently it's part of their plan to go to the body, because Cintron is throwing an unusual number of body punches.
Yeah, Reid left himself open for a little right hand. Cintron was content just to make contact. Then he came back with a big left hook.
Reid seems to get too relaxed. When he's right in punching range where he can get hurt, and he just gets totally relaxed too much, and that could be his downfall right there.
Reid landed a left hook solidly. Cintron took it without flinching. They trade jabs. Reid was a little slow with the uppercut. Cintron elected not to counter.
Reid's slow with all of his punches tonight. He's relaxed, but he still is a little bit too slow. Sometimes he'll be relaxed like Barrera, but when he executes at a different speed. than he moves at.
Cintron leads with the right hand and catches Reid on the way down. More body punishment being meted out by Cintron.
You know, usually in these type fights, I usually go along with the guy who's been the most active. And in this case right here, Cintron, even though he may be short on overall experience, he's still been a very active fighter.
Reid spent most of his career at 140 pounds. Began having trouble making the weight, moved up a year and a half ago to 147. But by and large, Cintron appears the bigger man, and Cintron is beginning to fluster Reid with his ability to land with power punches in the second round.
Reid looks much slower, looks slow, and actually looks a little fatigued, which I'm surprised at this stage already.
You know, he weighed in at 2 pounds over the limit yesterday. I don't know if that has anything to do with him looking sluggish or if he just wanted to come out being more controlled. Normally, he's a much more active fighter than we're seeing now.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, he's a slow fighter tonight to me.
Well, what about the early body shots? That might have had something to do with it, too.
I don't think so. I think even in the beginning, it just seems to be too relaxed. And Cintron is tense, but just enough to keep him alert.
Reid trying to load up the right hand. Cintron can see it coming. Reid throws him through the ropes. Cintron gets up grinning.
Stand over there. Okay, look, I'm not going to hear that rough stuff, okay? You can fight as hard as you want. But, look at me. But not that rough stuff, all right?
I think that's a good call on the referee's part because that was regular and deliberate right there.
Tim Adams is the referee. At the very least, Reid bought himself a little time by throwing Cintron through the ropes.
Yeah.
Next Saturday night, one of the most popular fighters in boxing, 140-pound belt holder Arturo Gatti, takes on undefeated former lightweight titleist Leonard Doreen. Also that night, rising star Francisco Bojado faces off against veteran Jesse James Leija. World Championship boxing next Saturday night. Don't miss it. Gatti Doreen could be the fight of the year.
Just a little bit more. All right? Nice work. Nice work, baby.
Hands home every time.
What title we going to get? 2, right? 2. Let's go get it, baby.
Right, lazy right hand. Come on, you got to sharpen up with your punches now. You sharper than that. You work too hard.
Your punch is sharp, Teddy. Stop trying to hit hard.
Cintron seems very relaxed, casual, and Reid flings him into the ropes.
That could have really discolorated his shoulder also, in addition to throwing him through the ropes.
Round 3 begins. You saw the CompuBox numbers that showed the accuracy with which Cintron landed power punches in the second round, already landing at a much higher rate than Reid. Reid lands a right hand across the top, didn't have a lot behind it. Now Reid sticks the jab in Cintron's face. Short, straight right hand by Cintron, trying to find the target.
Yeah, Cintron better be very careful of Reid's right uppercut, which seems to be that's his favorite punch. And for whatever reason, he's been able to catch Cintron with that shot right between the gloves inside.
Cintron keeping his hands up as Reid tries to wail away, throwing power shots.
Now, if he gets into
a left hook by Cintron as Reid was coming in.
Yes, Reid now is beginning to fight the fight that he wants, a slugfest, and being very physical about it.
And he lands a right hand to Cintron, tries another one. This time Cintron partially blocks it, comes back with 2 body punches. And another hard right hand to the body by Cintron, who, if he was instructed to go to the body, is remembering it well. Jab, jab, jab. Cintron starting to throw far more frequently than Reid. Lands the uppercut.
It comes down to whether Cintron is going to be prepared for this type of a fight. He hasn't been challenged like this before. Reid has been in quite a few of these type shootout fights.
Emmanuel, a viewer looks at Cintron's wide shoulders and big body and says, do you see him ultimately fighting as middleweight?
I don't know how much difficulty he had making the welterweight tonight, but he seems to be fairly comfortable right there. He doesn't seem to be drained in the faces, which is what I look at often when I see a fighter.
Well, making 147 is the product of hard training for Cintron, who, as Larry pointed out, had to squeeze to make 157, 10 pounds higher than that as a wrestler in high school. So he's reached a whole new level of physical conditioning as a boxer. Hard right hand upstairs by Cintron. Reid is starting to go into a shell just a little bit here in the latter part, number 3.
Hard punch inside by Cintron.
He's beginning to find Reid up and under with the right hand. And there's a right hand over the top that puts Reid on the canvas for the first knockdown of the fight.
4, 5,
Cintron set that up by throwing the uppercut so effectively so many times.
And he never was looking for a right hand over the shoulder.
Knockdown is sure to be a confidence builder for Kermit Cintron as he takes command against Teddy Reid at the end of 3 rounds.
Reid, Teddy. Put the mic on him.
All right, Teddy. You got to keep your hands busy, your hands up. You got to roll with the 1-2. When you throw the 1-2, roll, please. All right? You let him roll with the 1-2.
You are not bending your knees. You're standing in front of the man. Punch.
Cintron has been banging to the body, banging to the body. You can hear those punches all over the arena. And finally he comes over the top and finds his target. Target landed high on the head.
Second go. Let's go. Second go. Looking at 4. Looking at 4.
So 3 rounds in the books, and Kermit Cintron has already scored 1 knockdown of Teddy Reid. Harold Letterman, how do you see it so far?
Okay, Jim, 3-0, 30-26, Kermit Cintron. Jim, first of all, the judges always look for the big puncher. I mean, in order to beat a puncher like Cintron, you got to hit him an awful lot, and Reid is not. Second of all, I wanted to mention that Reid's really bending the rules. Every time he throws that right hand, he loops it around Cintron's head and lands a rabbit punch.
Well, you know, I was training Vernon Forrest to fight Teddy Reid, I think in April, and I pulled him out because Vernon had a bad left shoulder, and I said, you can't fight a guy like Teddy Reid with a bad shoulder because he's so physical that you can get away with it some guys, but not with a guy like Teddy Reid because he's a very physical fighter.
And apropos of what Harold just said, you saw Kermit Cintron motioning to the back of his head with his glove to try to say to referee Tim Adams, he's rabbit punching me.
Even though Cintron is winning this fight, it's a very rough and dangerous fight still because at any point in time he could still get not only caught with a punch, but even something physically by throwing him around where he could get hurt.
But Reid's punches are being thrown at a rate of speed where, for the most part, Kermit can see them coming.
And he keeps his guard up very well for a puncher. Many punchers are so fall in love with their own punching ability so much that they ignore the other guy.
That's a right uppercut again.
Cintron just firing the fastball now at will.
But he's
catching some punishment in return. But landing a huge right-hand shot there, and Reid was lucky to stay on his feet.
Reid is definitely hurt. Reid has been in these type of situations before so many times.
Cintron's corner may wish that he'd go back to the boxing a little bit. He's risking a lot by just throwing these haymakers, but he's also landing a lot of them. Final minute of the 4th round. Reid unloads a flurry. 6 or 7 punches in a row.
Yeah, but it's so tired though.
It's a roundhouse brawl now. And Cintron's just waiting for Reid to finish throwing before he unloads his own hard shots.
Even though if you're in Cintron's corner, you're happy with the way things are going, you're still going to be nervous as hell because the fact that Reid is still throwing those punches with full power.
Eddie Reid chopping away with the right hand. He staggers Cintron. Cintron lands another big right hand, misses wildly with the left hook.
But this is the type of a fight that Reid is used to. That's the difference.
And Reid lands 2 shots after the bell, prompting Marshall Kaufman, manager of Kermit Cintron, to jump into the ring screaming.
Listen, focus. All right, put your hands down. Put your arms down. Put your arms down. Listen, Kerm, that round, he fought his fight. I need you to give me some legs this round, okay? And set the shots up. You did, all right? But I need you to be smart. You hear me? Deep breath. Hands up. Hands up.
Don't back up straight, Teddy.
Breathe.
Don't back up straight.
Deep breath. Come on, Teddy, you got to put it together.
You can't back up straight, baby.
Too wide. Come on, put it together, baby.
If I was in his corner, I would definitely tell him to use his legs this round and to box. Because the fact that Reid is still dangerous and Reid wings punches, so if he misses a punch, he'll lose his balance completely.
And Cintron has never been in this kind of a wild slugfest. He's already shown a little sign of fatigue. And he's got to, one of the things he's got to show here is that mentally he can pull himself together in a tough fight.
Absolutely right. He got tired toward the end of the 4th round. As manager Marshall Kaufman pointed out, he was fighting Reid's fight. The question is, can he go back into his boxing envelope a little bit to maximize the effect of these big shots?
This is going to be a crucial round right now for Cintron right now. He can win the fight by knockout or possibly get hurt himself. As long as he keeps using his legs and making Reid miss completely, he'll be okay. But he's standing right in front of him.
Now there's the movement that Marshall Kaufman was asking for. And Cintron lands a hard jab and a right hand behind it. Teddy Reid is showing some guts, hanging in here taking the stuff he's taking.
This is what he's known for. This is why he became one of the most popular fighters on television on the ESPN.
And of course, as both you and Larry pointed out, punchers tend to show more courage because they think they always have a chance.
And he believes in that. He said he fought once in an amateur tournament where he scored 6 knockouts when he was a youngster. So he believes that he can knock out anyone, he says. And knowing that, he's going to always keep punching with full power, even when he's way behind.
Cintron landed a hard shot with the right hand to the body. Reid trying to come back upstairs. Reid continues to stand in front of Cintron, even though his corner has asked him to try to move back at an angle. Teddy's not moving back at all. He just wants to keep coming forward. Hard right hand by Reid. Cintron momentarily stunned by that right hand.
If Cintron would move, he could let Reid fall all over the ropes. But by holding it, it's making it possible for him. Even those clubbing punches that Reid lands on the side of the head, they still have an effect eventually.
Good uppercut right cross combination by Cintron. There's another vicious right cross. Teddy Reid can take a shot.
And he is taking a shot.
Bunches
a lot of shots.
Come on. Protect yourself. Break. Step back. Step back. Stop punching.
It's interesting that the fighters have 2 different brands of glove, and I thought a lot of the commissioners said they were going to stop that from happening. One guy's using Everlast, which is Reid, and the other guy, Cintron, is using Grant gloves.
Neither of these 2 big punchers using Reyes, which is supposed to be the puncher's glove.
That's right.
Go figure. Good uppercut coming back underneath by Cintron, but both fighters are so tired now at the end of the 5th round that craft has more or less gone out the window.
But this is more Reid's type of fight.
And again, Reid throws a shot after the bell. This time, no damage.
Yes, it was.
Tim Adams.
Come on, stay there.
Has warned. Now he's taking a point. Tim Adams is going to deduct a point from Teddy Reid for punching after the bell.
It's a very good call.
You was warned, Teddy.
In the last 2 rounds, I think he does it deliberately.
Let's put them together. And don't sit there and wait for him. Dictate. When you throw that right hand, throw in a downward motion, you're throwing too high, okay? And bring the hook back immediately.
Reid is very much a dangerous factor in this fight still.
Keep your eyes on that man.
Slip and punch, baby. Slip and punch. Come on.
You need to come in behind it. I need a left hook right behind it. Okay? Or look. Or keep it straight and give me that. As long as it's distance and head movement. Deep breath. I need to sprint this round, okay? All right, so that round.
Let's go. You're moving too slow here. Let's go. Seconds out. Bucks.
Round 6 of a fight scheduled for 12 here on Boxing After Dark. Teddy Reid.
Stop.
Kermit Cintron. Cintron in the
over there.
striped trunks.
Take care of
Tim
that
Adams
for me.
is
Come
taking
on,
him to the corner right now to observe the tape on his glove. Both fighters can use the rest. There was one previous between rounds period that ran 20 seconds long. They got a little break there.
Cut it. Okay. Bucks.
Now Cintron back and ready to punch again. You saw the CompuBox numbers between rounds that showed CompuBox finding Cintron landing half his power punches in the fight. And he has knocked Reid down once. Not enough to get rid of him. And the gutty Teddy Reid goes back to work, firing everything he's got.
You have the impression that Cintron is making this harder on himself than it has to be.
Reid lands the right and then jumps inside with a little left.
The fight is moving in the direction that Reid is very comfortable now.
Cintron flurries again, but Kermit Cintron's flurries are fewer and farther between as he tires in the fight.
And if you notice, Reid still is being very physical with him inside, pushing him around.
You think of the specter of Vladimir Klitschko running out of gas against Lehman Brewster in a fight in which he had dominated up to that point and appeared sometimes on the verge of a knockout.
This guy's dangerous right here. He's much more dangerous fighter than Brewster was at this stage right now.
Break. Whoa. Don't punch. Don't punch. Step back. Okay.
Reid, in his 28 previous fights, has gone the 12-round distance 3 times. Cintron coming back with another brutal flurry of his own.
All right, give me a break. Whoa, don't punch me.
Now Cintron finding his accuracy with counters. Lands a huge left hook upstairs. Reid looks like a man swimming underwater as he reaches out and paws with both hands to try to land something.
If Reid would throw a straight right hand, he would have something going for himself. But he's very effective with the short left hook when he gets in close often.
Rear break. Don't punch. Stop. Step back.
Reid stuck a jab in Cintron's face, but missed with the right hand. Kermit Cintron had a hunt and peck kind of a round, 2 or 3 big flurries, but for much of the time he appeared too tired to mount his own offense.
Sharpen up those punches a little bit. They're a little too wide. Put your arms down.
This Tuesday, catch the next edition of Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Among the stories, Bernie Goldberg tells you everything you need to know about the Balco steroid investigation, perhaps the biggest drug scandal in United States sports history.
Hands high. Slide them to the right. 6th, 7th, I don't know. You're way up. Here, give me one. Way up. I need you to sharpen.
Keep 2 guns working, baby. 2 guns working, but you got to go to that body.
Bend your knees and squat and work him. Rip his body.
Get that body, Teddy.
Rip his body.
Get the body. And when you get through...
Reid was having his best round until about 45, with about 45 seconds left. Cintron came on with some heavy artillery.
In the last 3 rounds, Teddy Reid, though already tired, has thrown 100, 101, and 96 punches.
It's not going. Step back.
That's just letting it go.
That's letting it go, and he's winging the punches in there.
but he's not winning rounds. Possibility of winning a decision would seem to have gone out the window for Reid. It appears what he's trying to do is to find the one big shot that'll knock Cintron out.
But he's a very dangerous man still. And very, very tough fight for a young fighter coming up, too.
Right, and it's only halfway over if it goes the distance.
Harold, how do you have it through 6?
6-0, 60-52, Kermit Cintron. Jim, Kermit Cintron gets a 10-8 round in the third for scoring a knockdown. He gets a 10-8 round in the fifth when referee Tim Adams took away a point for punching after the bell. So that's 2 extra points. He's up. Teddy Reid got a heck of a jaw, but you got to go with the big punches of Kermit Cintron.
So that's right to Reid is there. His best punch that I've seen is that left hook. He shoots a short left hook and left uppercut.
Right now, it's Teddy Reid who has more energy than Kermit Cintron as he tries to now to come back in the fight.
And he's shortening up his right hand a little bit more now, too, and that's when he's really dangerous.
And now, Reid hits on the break, and Adams takes another point away, and that lengthens the scoring distance between Cintron and Reid.
But I don't think he's worried about a decision anyway.
I totally agree. Just wants to stay in the fight and see if he can wear Cintron out, get him to fall down.
That's what he's trying to do. I don't think he's worried about a decision. And if he shortens up that right hand more the way he's doing right, he can really be a dangerous factor going down the stretch his next few rounds.
He's making Cintron fight as no opponent had been able to do up to this point, and the result is a high level of exhaustion for Cintron, who's fighting now in spurts. Reid blinking.
I think if Cintron went back to the body, he could end the fight, but I don't think he's really thinking clearly at this stage.
And manages to land right hand.
It's a lot of pressure on him, and this guy is steadily walking to him. Even when Cintron gets the best of an exchange, as soon as the referee breaks him up, Reid starts walking to him right away, steadily putting pressure on him.
Now there's blood coming from the right eye of Teddy Reid, and referee Tim Adams suddenly calls time to get a look at the blood under Teddy Reid's right eye.
Doc, come up, take a look at that. Stay there. Yeah, that's in a bad spot there.
Just a second.
It was a clean punch. Clean punch.
It's okay.
It's okay? Time back in.
Energetic refereeing job by Tim Adams. He's been very much in the fight. You heard what the doctor said.
Well, you got to be involved in the fight when you have Teddy Reid in there, because he's a very aggressive guy, very physical.
Can't tell exactly where the cut is within the eye area, but it appears as though it might be on the eyelid above the eye. Big right hand across the top of Cintron, and Reid tries to come back with one of his own, just barely avoided, swinging after the bell again.
Working as a cut man in Reid's corner is Charles Mooney, who was on the 1976 Olympic team with Sugar Ray Leonard and Spinks brothers. He was bantamweight on the Olympic team.
Be still.
Teddy, you got to punch. You got to punch, Teddy.
Teddy, you got to knock this man out now.
You don't knock him out, you don't win, Teddy.
You're losing on a lot of points, baby. Okay? You got to knock him out. I need some grease.
You're going wide shots, Teddy. You got to shoot your shots up, baby. Come on.
Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath, Teddy.
Stop standing right in front of him.
All right, you ready? Here comes the water. Mouthpiece.
Watch him be smart.
Big deep breath.
WBO title.
Hands up. Don't get killed.
Be smart, baby.
CompuBox numbers found Reid landing more punches than Cintron in round 7. That's the first time in the fight that it's happened. How badly will that cut bother Teddy Reid, Emmanuel?
From what I could see, it wasn't that bad a cut.
Cintron lands a right hand and another, and Teddy Reid gets clocked to the canvas a second time.
6, 7, 8, 9. Look at me. How you feel? No, walk towards me. Walk towards me. Step back. Step back. Step back. All right, I'll give you a chance. Box.
Well, we'll find out momentarily whether the referee is doing Teddy Reid a favor.
He almost jumped in there.
Yeah, it looks like one more good punch and he's going to jump in.
Meanwhile, Reid, as you can surely guess, is going to begin throwing himself in a minute.
That's it.
Adams steps in and stops the fight. Kermit Cintron gets the knockout he needed. Teddy Reid's valiant effort falls short.
Well, we found out something about Cintron tonight. Fought his best opponent. Had to suck it up.
He definitely had to suck it up. I thought he fought a good fight for a young fighter. Not so much a technical fight. He could have fought on a smarter fight, but he did what he had to do at this stage of the career.
I thought he fought a brave fight and made his courage stand up.
Yes, he did. And you could tell he was still a little insecure, a little nervous, but he survived it all.
Hey, at the end of the day, though, he showed you his mentality. He's a puncher. When he got in trouble, he tried to bail himself out with big punches, and ultimately he got it done. Cintron stays unbeaten and scores another big right-hand knockout.
I love you all, baby. Champion right here.
Kermit Cintron kept chopping away on the tree, and eventually, even as sturdy a tree as his opponent turned out to be, there's just so much chopping a tree can take.
Sixth loss of Reid's career. Third time he's lost by knockout against Bentaki on a fifth-round TKO. He had difficulty making 140 pounds and, according to his trainer, simply ran out of gas. This was a case where both fighters were more or less out of gas, and Cintron still had enough power to get it done.
I was very impressed with him.
So let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the particulars in a moment here after we watch one more replay. And this is the moment at which Tim Adams stepped in and elected to stop it, as Reid was not defending himself to Adams' satisfaction. And you see the emotion of the victory for Kermit Cintron. And now Michael Buffer with the particulars on the TKO.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Tim Adams steps in and calls a halt to this contest at 56 seconds into round number 8. The winner by knockout victory. He is now the new NABF welterweight champion, the still undefeated killer Kermit Cintron.